Okay, we're back. Technical difficulty. This is the first video we've ever made, so we're stupid. So where were we? We were putting in a tube. So you want to line the valve up with where the hole is in your rim, and then this is the part that's a little bit of a pain in the ass, is to tuck the tube back in. You want to try and not get too many kinks or bends in the tube, because you can get what's called a pinch flat where they rub together. We had one of those in Namibia, and it was a pain in the butt. But I've got one little trick. So we're just basically getting that tube inside the tire so it can sit a little flush. And then the fiddly part is to actually try and get the valve through the hole, because there's not a lot of room to work inside the wheel. There are some cool little toys you can get that help, that are weighted strings that you can pass through to sort of make a snake to fish it through. But since this is my least favorite part, I'm gonna stop talking for 1 second. All right, she's through. Now that it's through, take whatever nut or sealing nut you have, just get that started. You don't want it tight, we just want it so the tube won't slide out. Now what I like to do at this point in time is put a little bit of air in the tube. Don't fill it up, but put a little bit in there. And that makes sure that any kind of pinches you might have or whatever are taken care of. This is a manual pump that we took with us on our trip. It's a bicycle pump, it's really lightweight. It's not very fast, it takes about 300 strokes to get to 36 PSI. So I'm just gonna put 50 strokes in or so. That way it just helps smooth the tube out so that there aren't any pinches inside. Some people do this, some people don't. I'm sure other people weigh in, but it's what I like to do. So that's probably good enough. Now the one thing you have to watch is that when you're popping the tire on, that you don't pinch the tube. You don't want to get the tube caught between the wheel and the tire. So this is where I take a couple seconds, look around. I may have overfilled that. Let a little air out. Got a little carried away there. All right, so now we're on. So now we just want to make sure and look and make sure our tube is all nice and square. Everything's good to go. And now we'll put the rest of the tire back on. So first we're going to do is start, pick any point and get the tire started on. Let's start with some lube first. And I think I overflated that tube, so put a little more air out. All right, so now we're going to start just getting this on. Use the levers now. You want to be real careful you don't pinch your tube. So now that we got it on there, we can just start working with the levers. Just being careful that all you're catching is the rim and not the tube. This is where you use your knees to consolidate your progress. If you have a second set of hands, a lovely assistant who's not running the camera, it's a good way to just help keep it. Nope, it popped out. All right, Rebecca, come on over here. Just put your foot, hold that lever right there. Got it? The idea is to just keep pressure on whatever part of the tire you just got tucked under, so it can't snake out around. And almost there. And that's it. One tire on. So at this point in time, want to make sure your valve core is tightened all the way down. whatever that either one nut or two nuts or whatever yours has. Look around, make sure everything looks good. Look in to make sure our tube isn't pinched anywhere. Look on both sides. Looks good. You'll notice that molded into the tire, there's a little ring all the way around the tire. It's usually 1, 2, or 3 grooves. That lets you know when the tire's fully on the rim. On a radial tire, it matters more about beating up a tire. You'll hear people talk about that. On bias plies, it doesn't matter so much. But once you have your tire fully inflated, we'll inflate this one to probably about 36 or 38 PSI. Overinflate it just to make sure everything pops up on the rim. But you want to make sure that that little line is even all the way around on both sides. If it's not, you can bounce the tire around to get it to sit and stuff. But that's basically it. We just got to put the wheel back on, which is the reverse of taking it off. There's really nothing to it. Just have your friend pick it up, while you slide the wheel under, pop it back on the splines. Or if you don't have that, if you can find a 2x4 or 4 or 6 inch high piece of wood, you can put it on. If not, you can put the center stand on a curb and let the rear wheel hang off the curb. If you're by yourself and you can't do it. So that's pretty easy. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
All right, let's get the air pump.
How do you stop it?
You hit the same button.